Welcome. I'm Amelia Layton Gamel. In this active reading session, I'll be working with an article titled 10 Common Questions and Their Answers About Off-Label Drug Use by Christopher M. Wittick, Christopher M. Burkle, and William L. Lanier. I've previewed the article and noticed it's 11 pages in length, includes an abstract and a summary. For those of you not familiar, an abstract appears below the title and provides an overview of the text. A summary, which isn't visible here, appears at the end of the text and restates main points. I've read the abstract first to make sure it included the information I'm looking for before reading the entire article. The first thing I noticed in the abstract is the authors use the acronym OLDU to indicate off-label drug use. So I'll be sure to remember that as I move through the text. I've also read the summary, which indicates the OLDU involves prescribing medication that has not been approved by the Food and Drug Association. Now that I've read the title, previewed the text, read the abstract and summary, I'm ready to begin actively reading the article, which is sectioned by the 10 numbered questions. In the time available in this session, I'm going to actively read and focus on question 2, is off-label drug use common? Let's begin. As I read, I'm going to stay focused on only paying attention to what's important, which is understanding OLDU. Question 2, is off-label drug use common? Indeed, OLDU is common. I'm going to already stop there. I'm going to take out the word indeed. It's not really a necessary word for me to understand. Going to also kind of note OLDU because it's an acronym for off-label drug use. I'll continue on. Radley et al. Reported in 2006 that in a group of commonly used medications, 21% of prescriptions were for an off-label use. Et al. Means and others. I'm just going to kind of note that in here. It means and others. Although the names of researchers are valuable, for my purpose of understanding OLDU, I don't need to know or remember the names of the researchers, so I'm going to cross this out. I'm also going to cross out the year. All I need to know is that the research is recent, so from what I've read so far, all I need to remember is, of commonly used medications, 21% of prescriptions were for an off-label use. In certain subpopulations of patients, this rate may be even higher. I wonder what kind of subpopulations. I'll read on and trust the authors are going to explain more. For example, a study by Shaw et al. Found 78.9% of children discharged from pediatric hospitals were taking at least one off-label medication. Again, I'm going to cross out the words I don't need, which will help me stay focused on what's important. In addition, in a pediatric emergency department, the rate of OLDU was estimated to be 26.2%. I think this is important because it's showing a frequency of OLDU in pediatrics, so I'm going to make a note of that. Going to jot it right here, draw a line to remind myself. Just going to say there's a frequency of OLDU in pediatrics. That way I'll remember. The off-label use of antidepressant, anticonvulsant, and antipsychotic medications is high and is more prevalent with increasing patient age. Although I know the meaning of the word prevalent, I don't use that in my everyday talk, so I'm going to swap that word and use the word common, which is something that I might say. So now the sentence reads like this. The off-label use of antidepressant, anticonvulsant, and antipsychotic medications is high and is more common with increasing patient age. This seems like an important point, especially where it states more prevalent with increasing patient age. I'm going to jot that down. OLDU is more common in increasing patient age. I know if I write it down, I will be more likely to remember. In an intensive care unit at et al. Reported that 36.2% of medication orders were for an off-label use. I'm going to make a note. OLDU is common in IC as well. In addition, beta-adrenergic blocking agents are commonly prescribed for an off-label indication, and specialists may more commonly prescribe for off-label beta blocker use than primary care physicians. I'm going to jot this down too. Specialist are more likely to prescribe off-label blockers than PCP, primary care physicians. In a headache specialty practice, Lauder and Biondini reported that off-label use accounted for 47% of prescriptions written. I'm going to go ahead and jot that in. Just kind of underline the headaches, and just write OLDU so I know that there is off-label drug use there as well. Clearly, off-label drug use is being used for the treatment of headaches. This concludes our paragraph. Let's review the active reading strategies that were demonstrated today. Crossing out information that didn't relate to my purpose, underlining what was important, swapping unfamiliar words with more familiar words, and jotting down quick notes. If I need to write a paper or take a quiz over this information, my notes allow me with quick skimming to review what was important. This approach to reading isn't needed for every piece of text. If I were reading an online article about redecorating my living room, or if I were reading a letter from a family member, I wouldn't read so intently with a pen in hand. Where it becomes valuable is when there's a need to read, remember, and use academic information. Actively reading the paragraph allows me to remember that off-label drug use is common and that it appears in pediatrics and in intensive care units. And off-label drugs are prescribed more often by specialists than primary care physicians. This approach of active reading does take a bit longer, but the payoffs are huge. You will read the information and remember it with no rereading necessary, and also have short notes for quick review. Remember, read with a pen in hand. Thank you for joining this session today.